stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. There's a lot to cover on the first, the longest running, and the largest Notre Dame call-in show in the country. We're here. We're doing it live. We're getting ramped up, folks. We're getting ramped up. The people are getting engaged. More and more people, I'm noticing, we're over the hump. More and more people are reading the articles. More and more people, there's a little traction here. We're starting to build up in the ramp to camp. And man, there's a lot to go over. Man, there's a lot to go over. Just look at Notre Dame's weekend alone. The long holiday weekend. You had a lot of things to like, and there's some things to not like and to worry about. And even the stuff that, here's the thing, and you knew this was coming. Even the stuff there is to like about Notre Dame's weekend, people are questioning that. And some of it's fair, and some of it, we'll get into it. But like even the stuff there was to be happy about over the weekend, I knew some people were going to nitpick it. Some of it's fair, though. Some of it's fair, but it's kind of like where Notre Dame's at certain positions, you got to build up a little bit. And before you're getting a Jeremiah Smith. I'm sorry. You don't have the proof of concept on offense the way you do in that secondary to be landing some of the best guys. You got to start a building block somewhere. We'll get into it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I didn't hear that any of our people blew off any of their digits, any of the problems with Notre Dame's injuries. I didn't see any that were firework related, so that's a good start. Jay Carr, I saw that. Listen, isn't he just going to say this is to honor the guy so he gets back quickly? I don't know. I just figured that's what he's going to say. I mean, and that's what that was. I figure he's just going to say that was a way for me to honor the guy that he gets healthy quick or something, not like an insult. So yeah, it's interesting. Everybody's just a little worked up. Everybody's a little worked up, and I just like it, kind of. I like it. Everybody's getting cranked up for the season. And so I don't know. It is just like what a wide-ranging Notre Dame weekend. Just think about what was laid out. You had the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. Callers, I'm coming to you. I highlight a lot of chats. I like the energy, you guys. We're building to this season. I am starting to feel a little more juice and a little more energy, and it's just kind of it's an awesome feeling when you feel the ramp up to this season and everybody's buying back in, and it's exciting, and I'm excited to ride this wave with you guys, you fine people. So you had the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, and those receivers all lined up, and you felt like you knew what direction that was going to go, right? So you got that. And so you land them all. And then you have the bad injury news that kind of offsets the excitement of what would have been an undefeated weekend. And even in the undefeated weekend, you look at those receivers, and I knew I was going to get it when I reacted positively to it, is like, what are you guys excited about? They're the 30th or 40th best receivers. Like, why could you be possibly excited? And then you're in a position as a Notre Dame fan to be like, oh, geez, man, like that position's been such a struggle to recruit appropriately for so long. And you haven't had an exciting downfield passing game that appeals to top receivers in so long. Like, do you need to start where you need to start with the traits and identify guys that want to come here and whatever? Like, Finley's Finley, but then like, I get some of the concern about that. Be honest, Notre Dame people, you're not at wide receiver where you're at secondary. Just think about it. A proof of concept, guys in the league, elite unit, elite development, proven on the field. You're not where you are at wide receiver, where you're at in the secondary. And you got to build somewhere. You got to build somewhere. So I guess you got to trust those guys to identify some traits and develop some guys. But you're not going to go from like nothing to landing Jeremiah Smith with no proof of concept on the field. You're not. You're not going to do that. It's unrealistic to think you're going to do that. So you got to build somewhere. So I guess be glad that they identified some guys they wanted and they landed them all in a row. You can't just, I did in your mind, you wanted to go from 0 to 100 overnight like a magic Irish wand or a bottle rocket to be seasonally appropriate. Is that realistic? So a part of this is you got to build somewhere. You got to build somewhere. And a good start for Notre Dame is having some guys they wanted and actually lining up and getting them. Start with that. How often do they do that at wide receiver? Identify some guys they want, line up commitment dates, and then knock them all down and get them. You got to be realistic, man. I get having high standards. Oh, John, the wide receiver room doesn't look like Ohio State's. Yeah, no shit. Duh. You got to earn your way to get there. You got to prove it. You're not going to land Jeremiah Smith for no reason overnight. I don't care what kind of bag you give them. But geez, man, you got to start and build somewhere. So be glad they identified 3 guys they wanted, lined up the commitment dates, and got them all. And here's the other thing, too. The other thing is, it's like, I never liked the hat flip thing where you do the fake and you put on the Texas and you put on the Notre Dame and then you throw it in the garbage and light it on fire. And then you pick another, and then you pick another, and then you pick another team. You know what I've learned? Like, I'm always honest with you guys. I'm extremely transparent with my thoughts. I don't mind the hat flippers when Notre Dame's the last one. It's so weak, man. It is so weak. At least I admit it. When they do the hat fake thing and they throw Notre Dame's in the ground, I'm like, that's disrespectful. I don't like that at all. But when you put the Texas on and then throw it down and put the Notre Dame one on, I'm like, hell yeah, brother, let's ride. It's super disingenuous by your boy here, but I openly admit it. I'm just telling you, when it's for Notre Dame, it hits a lot different. And let's be totally honest about this. We don't win a lot of hat flipper events. We don't win a lot of hat flipper events. And so I'll be totally honest. A couple people asked me and they're like, I remember when you said you didn't like that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like it. Till they pick Notre Dame. And then I'm like, hell yeah, stick it to Texas, bro. Hey, at least I'm being honest about what's going on. Yeah, this is true too. This is one thing I'll do for baseball here. Pour one out for Bobby Jakes, this White Sox closer in 2005 when we won the championship. Critical to the World Series run, big personality. Everybody loved that guy. Passed away from cancer. I think he was only 42, 43. Tough stuff there. So for the good memories I have of the White Sox, that guy was a big part of it. And God, that's just tough, man. God bless his family. Tough stuff. Peyton threw that ND hat across the room. I'm just being honest with you guys. I hate it when we don't win the hat flipper. And if we're going to win them, flip that thing and stick it to them, baby. I'm being totally hypocritical, but at least I'm self-aware enough to admit it. People are asking about the Horka thing. A lot of people took it the wrong way. If I'm Horka, you just say, this was a way to honor the guy. I hope he gets healthy soon. I understand why people took it the wrong way, and Mike took it the wrong way. I totally understand that. But if I'm him and I'm trying to and I'm trying to smooth that over, you just say, this is a way to, he's in the top of all of our minds and we want to honor him that he gets better. And it just so happened that it's that day. What is it, 56 days away or whatever? Like, isn't that the angle? I get why some people took it the wrong way. If I'm him, I'm going back off. I'm just honoring the injured guy. Like, so whatever. It's up when you put a tweet up, it's up for the interpretation of the people that read it. 55 now, whatever. It was 56, but like I get why people didn't like it. I also think if he wanted to blunt that criticism, you just say this was a way for me to honor the guy that's in all of our minds now that he's hurt. That's all. It doesn't have to be more involved than that. Right? So I don't know. Let's get into this here. And I want to know what you guys think. I asked Notre Dame when we were last together. I asked Notre Dame to go 3 for 3 undefeated on the recruiting trail, and they did exactly that. I said, if you're lining this stuff up 3 days in a row, knock them all down. You did that. Then there's the debate about the level of how good that is or whatever. And then you have the injury. And then some of this injury stuff is, it's bugging me. Some of the injury stuff is bugging me, and some of the takeaways are bugging me. Anders says that's a good explanation. I thought, though, that it made Horka look unprofessional. That's literally was my first reaction, is when I saw it, I thought he must be doing this in some way to honor the injured guy, and it lines up with the amount of days we have left till kickoff. That was my thought, but a lot of people took it as like unprofessional or taking a shot, being accused of being a Texas homer. I've seen some of that. Yeah, Chief, people are mad about it. I had a few people ask me, what's the deal with this guy? Does he even like Notre Dame or whatever? I don't know. It isn't my deal to talk about. I could see it both ways. I totally see why people took it wrong. And if I'm him to blunt it, you just say, hey, I just want to honor the injured guy. Hopefully he gets back. That's all. Top of mind and lined up with the days. And I just want to honor the guy to get better. That's what you would say. So I don't know. What do I know? Callers, I'm coming to you. As always, thanks for being here. You can find a program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish Inc. Email's always irishnd@gmail.com. Email me like my main man Martinez. He had to send me that video again. I couldn't get it to load. I'm hitting it. Nothing happened. I see my dad in here cooked up some major steaks yesterday, baby. Oh, man. Like a Texas Roadhouse over at Always Irish Senior's house, man. Thick old steaks. Thanks for the dinner, Pops. It was delicious. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you could get it. If you don't want to see my stupid face first thing in the morning, who's going to blame you for that? How many people wake up on a Monday and go, you know what I want to do to start my week is, you know what's going to put me in a productive mood at work and everything? I really want to see John's yell face. Said nobody ever, but you're getting it anyways. You're going to get it anyways, damn it. You're stuck with me. To call in lines 312-900-8815. Dial it up and tell me all you've heard and seen. Notre Dame on SI. You could read all about it. My articles are popping. I don't know why. This is a little early for this time of the year. Maybe it's just because there's a lot happening, but the articles have been popping all weekend. Read all about it, people. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Dream team, baby. Myself. I got 2 Notre Damers. We got Mike Goolsby over there, the former captain. I got Jared Clark. Yeah, the Always Irish Yell team. We're just going to put on some very awkward overalls, and we're just going to stand on the sidelines at a pep rally and say really, really creepy things. That's what we're going to do. The Always Irish Yell team. That is the yell from hell, baby. Don't you ever forget it. Back to Patreon. ND Recruiting 01, Jack Sullivan. You got to love it, man. He just knows everything. It's just, hey, what about that? What about this recruit? Oh, this and this and that. He knows everything. Jack Sullivan just knows everything about all of these guys, man. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. So welcome in. We got a lot to go over. Let me get through the chats. I got to get caught up. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. I figured it would be a busy day on the waves and the radio waves, and it is. So let me get through some of these chats, and then we'll go for that. I'll start with something. I know you guys didn't want me to. Whenever something bad happens in Notre Dame land, okay, when Mike Goolsby is not going to be with Blue and Gold this year, that is official. Whenever something bad happens, with Notre Dame, people got to rationalize it. There's a problem with just accepting the bad thing that happened fully. Everybody's got to smooth it out to feel a little better. You got to smooth it out to feel a little better. Okay. So everybody, not everybody, some people have a really, really tough time fully embracing something negative and letting it sink in to the full extent. Okay. So then this injury happens. And then I got some people reaching out to me saying, you know what? Everybody's going to lose people in camp or whatever. And so just it'll balance out. Everybody's going to lose some people in camp. It's not a big deal. This is a part of the deal. You got to just roll with it or whatever. It's not that big a deal because everybody's going to lose some people, right? And I got some messages like that. You need to chill out or whatever. And that's the way it's going to be. Here's the problem, man. Yes, you're right. Everybody's going to lose some people. That's why you can't afford to lose people before you're even putting pads on. I can't understand it. I can't understand that theory that you're coming to me and saying everybody's going to lose some guys, so just relax. Yeah, probably including us. Once you put pads on, that's why you can't be losing guys when there's no football going on. What are you, nuts? You think that because of the UTV, UTI, whatever you want to call it, that means you're immune from something also happening in camp when they're hitting? That makes absolutely no sense, and it doesn't make me feel any better. Doesn't make me feel any damn better. But I don't understand it. Oh, John, relax. Everybody's going to lose some guys. Yeah, including us probably, which is why you can't afford to lose people before you're even doing any football things. Patello, Jag, Skirby, I don't like the list. I don't like the list. And I see the ATV, UTV, whatever. If that makes a difference to you, it's a bigger version. I picture the Duck Dynasty. They were always driving the bigger thing to do their property work, whatever. I talked about it on my show that I put out for this. As a guy in the death business for 12 years, there is other than anything involving alcohol. And I'm not saying that this involved alcohol. I'm not saying that at all. Anything involving alcohol is number one predictor of John burying you or your kid every stupid holiday, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Black Wednesday, New Year's Eve, death, drunk, drive off a cliff, whatever. Anything involving alcohol, right up on the list. I'm telling you, ATVs are number 2. And if you combine them then it even goes up. It's ATV type stuff and then snowmobiles in my area in Illinois. And there's something about those things that I log it over 12 years, everybody I buried. And I remember the stuff that's unnatural. I worry. And then I kind of see how many drug ODs do I have or whatever, this and that. You'll catch a bad batch of fentanyl and I'll have a few people in a row that all caught the same batch, back-to-back days. You put all this stuff together when you're in that business. And these are bad. I've never seen anything good come from them. I can't tell you how much more safer a dirt bike is than one of these because it's you could brace yourself with your feet. You could bail easier. If you need to bail, you could lean into a turn and put your there's just a little more flexibility on a dirt bike than there is any of these 4-wheel whatever. It's just Really frustrating. It's really frustrating, especially coming off a year where that guy was banged up most of last year. Son of a buck. My hairline's getting stressed, people. My hairline's getting stressed. I don't know. Dirt bikes are more dangerous. Less people ride them, so the numbers are lower. That could be. I felt more safe on a dirt bike personally than a four-wheeler when I used to do that kind of stuff. I think it's just because you ride a regular bike as a kid and it just feels like a natural thing that I felt like I had more control, was in more comfort on the dirt bike. That's just me. I don't know. And the snowmobile thing, a lot of people like to drink and go snowmobiling. It is just asking for death, man. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. And it's all fun and games till something goes wrong. So I don't know. Yeah, you think a four-wheeler's bad. Try those three-wheeler thing. I don't know, man. It is. You don't want to pile on the kid, but I think it's fair to ask, like, I mean, nobody knows the situation, and you're not going to sit here and speculate. That's a little irresponsible, too. So I don't know, man. Whatever. It's rough. All right. I got to get through some super chats. And then I got to get to the phone lines. Andrew Gilmore says jet skis, too. I know 3 people seriously injured and 1 died. You know what, Andrew? All of my death experiences, though, are in the Illinois South suburbs. And there isn't a lot of jet ski opportunities. So I need to be totally upfront that when I'm talking about that history, it really depends on where I'm at. I'm sure if I'm in Florida, I'm going to have way more boating deaths, drinking and boating. In the Illinois suburbs, we didn't have a lot of jet skis, bro. So I didn't have a lot of jet ski activity. But there's a lot of country and a lot of fields and a lot of all of that stuff. And so you get a lot of snowmobiling and you get a lot of four-wheeling out in the country type stuff on a farm, on property. When you get out of Chicago, man, the suburbs, it's busy and you drive 1 more mile and it's fields or trees. Like, it's weird. It's weird. So, all right, let's get into some of these chats, and then I'm going to go to the calls and give it to you guys. But that's I wanted to just throw the one thing out there bugging me. The idea to just chill out because everybody's going to lose people when camp starts. Yeah, probably us as well, which is why you cannot afford a death log before you're even into that. Duh, you're proving my point. I don't understand why people can't just accept negativity fully and just a situation sucks and I'm going to know it sucks and fully let the suck embrace me. You don't have to smooth everything over for your little Notre Dame heart to try and feel better. Some things are just bad. Let it cut deep and be honest about it. At least he didn't get hurt by a pizza box. Yeah, imagine that on the depth chart there. What happened to him? Stepped on a pizza box in the garage, and he's out for 4 months. So, I don't know. And then whatever you guys want, Penn State Sports Talk, ND is fine. You know what? Everybody says that they're fine when it isn't your team that's losing guys. It's like, oh, they'll overcome that. Yeah, because it's not emotional to you at all. Oh, people are asking. Let's get into this. Callers, I'm coming to you. Let's get into this. People have asked this. And I asked it on a text thread yesterday. And I don't know the answer. Is there any language in these NIL deals at Notre Dame that prohibit guys from doing things they think are dangerous? I think Pat brought this up with an NBA player and a motorcycle or whatever. Is there any language? That's a very interesting piece of this. Is there any language in these deals that say if you get hurt doing non-football activities that we know have a higher rate of being dangerous, we're not on the hook for your money? Dirt biking, motorcycling, driving 100 miles an hour in a car and getting caught, whatever it might be. I'm just wondering, rock climbing like off a cliff. Like, I don't know. Is there any language there about that? And if there isn't, is that something Notre Dame needs to look into? Like, no one cares if my carcass flips off a four-wheeler. I am not 330 pounds trying to go to the NFL and lead Notre Dame to a championship, okay? Like, no one cares if Johnny Boy flips off an ATV and splits his wig. I'll be in here with the brain cast. All right, I need to shut up now. I've said enough for a Monday. Okay, I got to do the chats. Then I promise I'm going to go to the calls. We are busy today on the call-in line. 5-minute warning. And by the way, when we get into the season in the post-game, 5-minute warning. I need Omar. I got a clock here. We're going to do 5 minutes. And we got to keep this show moving. And we'll do 5 minutes. Everybody gets 5-minute block, whatever. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to train our minds. Andrew Gilmore, for some reason, Anthony Knapp does not get the respect he deserves. He beat out a 5-star, 5-year veteran, and Tosh gave up 1 sack the final 10 games. Yeah, Andrew, your next one is where I was going to go. People say he's undersized and he's a guard. I would say they're right and wrong. He's a tackle in college football, a guard in the NFL. Same build as Zach Martin, Hainsey, and Eichenberg. Yeah, I think that's the complaint. He doesn't fit that profile as a tackle. On receiver recruiting, huge win in terms of speed. Even Fitz is faster than people think, but Mike Brown does have his handful. 4 out of 5 are natural slots. Brown will need to develop outside. Yep, that's a fair assessment. It is. It's a Tarek or Absher's time to step up. I agree. Leave Knapp alone, especially at left tackle, because that'll be CJ or Kenny's blind side. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine when you first get into camp, you're going to have a lot of rotation there with different guys in different lineups trying to see what's going on. What's the deal with Gerby, too? What's the return timetable on Gerby? I've heard conflicting reports on that, of when he's going to be good to go. The Sly Robinson pickup looks like future kickoff, punt return, special teams player, great option for jet sweep. I'm telling you what, a little squirty guy like that with his skill set, let Mike Denbrock figure something out. They'll find a use for a guy like that. Hats off to Mike Brown. I have faith in Rudolph to make the right move along the line. It's just your depth is getting scary, and you don't know what else could happen. It's a lot. You're down 2 of these main guys, and you're nowhere even near hitting yet. There's no way to sugarcoat that. And then when you add the other guys that were looking to be backups that took NIL deals and left somewhere else, you're like, well, it would have been nice to have them. I know, but like, this is the business, man. This is the business. Philly special. Fitz is another huge get. Hopefully these verbals all stick. He runs good routes, has that football IQ like Carr from the family tree, the football genes. You gotta, man, some of this stuff stresses you the hell out. Here's some good news. Elijah Golden, the 26th. This would be huge for the future interior of the line. One of the biggest areas we could improve. I feel extremely good about Notre Dame in that race. Extremely good. Phil, as always, these are only verbals. Yeah, that's the other underpinning theme with all of the commitments lately and how good we feel about it. Everybody needs to understand in the backdrop, we have learned our Notre Dame lesson. All the verbals mean is you're the leader in the clubhouse right now. You could get into a philosophical moral debate that if you're committing, doesn't that mean you're committing? But in this world, it doesn't really. It kind of means you're the leader for now. You got to close and you got to hold. You do. Yeah. C. Jones. Jags, Batella, Lambert, all are before camp opens. Not ideal. Absolutely not. Mixed bag weekend. Great eyes, terrible low. Yeah. Isn't that the full Notre Dame gamut? There's a governor on how good the Notre Dame fan base is allowed to feel. I'm just convinced there's a governor, man. Things were going too smooth. You've been winning all these recruiting battles. Everybody's on a long weekend, drinking their beer by the pool, looking at some works of fire. Everything's going good. Not so fast, my friend. There's a natural limit on how happy Notre Dame people can be for a certain amount of time, and then something's got to break it up. It's just... Commander, I can always count on you for the negativity. Good. You know what made me happy, Commander, though? At least you were being negative on the 247 channel, too, where they did the announcement. It actually made me feel good to see Commander being negative there, too, so I know it wasn't just my channel specifically. It honestly made me feel better about it. I'm like, okay, at least he's a negative Nancy everywhere, not just on Johnny's show. Good morning, ND Nation. With the lower level wide receiver recruiting, do we need to play O'Brien on offense, possibly Golden? I think It's going to be talked about, especially with Golden. I honestly think it's going to be talked about. I really do. So I don't know. Excited for the future in Freeman, but let's not pretend all these receivers outside the top 30 are going to get it done. Maybe one of these guys will be decent in a few years. Yeah, bring us down. Bring us down. I'm already reeling off the injury, and you got to bring me down a little more. The Sly. Let's balance it out. The film on all these guys looks good to me. You can't teach speed that Robinson and Bubba Frazier have. NFL genes with Finley and Fitz. Bettis, too, is a young guy in there with the NFL genes. I'm good with that. And Faison, yeah, you just can't. You're not going to go from where Notre Dame's been in the passing game to landing Jeremiah Smiths. You're not going to do that overnight. It's got to be like the secondary where you start putting guys in the league, developing guys playing great football on Saturdays, putting them in the league, and then you have a proof of concept. You don't have that with that passing game yet. Maybe one good year with Carr throwing around opens all that up and opens eyes, but you're not there yet. You just got to be honest. You're not there yet. Luke's always hating, but I think he's right on the wide receivers. It's good news. We actually got a real class, but 23 was better from a class rating perspective. Nobody on Cam's level. Yeah, and the problem is nobody on Cam's level, and Cam isn't sniffing the field. That's the thing that bothers me, man. You were looking at all that talent, and like, does his name even ever come up? A developmental issue or something. So take the loss on that one. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen. Good weekend. Until we got the news about Jags, the kid has the worst luck. It's really quite unfortunate and frustrating. Happy birthday to Homer TD. You're a legend, Tony. Love you, Tony. Thanks, Mark. Tony is one of the nicest guys in the world and supports me in a lot of ways. And he just has a way about him that I really appreciate. And he's become a very close family friend, not only to me, but the whole family and my parents too. Love Tony. Really, really glad I got to meet him. Andrew, Black and Lambert are the unknowns going to camp. Is Black ready day one, or does he need half a season like Alt? Is Lambert's injury going to allow him to compete for a job? Very good questions. Very good questions. Andrew Gilmore, I'm pretty sure I was the only household without fireworks. It was like Baghdad this weekend. I was sitting on my back porch watching the neighborhood go up. Smoke in the streets, that smell, fireworks going everywhere, the remnants of the fireworks hitting my roof, sitting there drinking a beer, and you just hear the fireworks, and then you hear the little pitter-patter of everything falling on your roof, hoping it doesn't catch on fire. And I'll tell you what I thought of, honestly, because I'm weird in my brain and I think of this stuff. I totally understand why some of my relatives that were in Vietnam do not like the 4th of July. I honestly sat there and thought, all of this smoke, that smell, and the noise, I totally get why some of my relatives that saw heavy action really are uncomfortable around that holiday. Like, I understand it. I understand that flashback PTSD thing. I totally get it, man. It was extreme in my neighborhood, but I don't think anybody blew their arm off. I didn't hear anybody yelling that loud. $10 holler from my main man, Martinez. John, it begins in the trenches. The great thing is we have an amazing O-line and D-line coaches onward Notre Dame. There's some positivity. Homer TD, it's his birthday and he's donating money. What a nice guy. $2 holler. Whether UTV or ATV, they just suck. Just don't. It's just, you don't want to pile on the kid. It's just tough. I guarantee Freeman's pissed, kid or not. And that's why I'm asking, Chief, I hope everything went good at the beach there for your holiday and you didn't lose anybody to any sharks. That's bad for business. Yeah, I thought of this too, Dodger. I absolutely. Andrew, they go to Crazy Kaplan's, bro. You go right across the Indiana border. You go to Crazy Kaplan's. You drop about $5,000. That's where you go. You see them billboards with that guy looking with that scary look on his face, and you buy about $5,000 worth of dynamite sticks and you blow them up in your neighborhood, man. Does riding a four-wheeler make you wrong? Wait a second, though. Brian, this is not me or you. You are like what, 6'7", 330 pounds trying to go to the NFL? You have a different obligation for your safety than a guy like me or you does. I'm dead serious when I ask, is there any NIL language that prohibits doing dangerous, risky things that have known to cause injury? To where I'm dead serious about that. He has a different obligation to his physical safety than any of us do. That is just the truth. I could totally see Mark holding a sparkler with that look on his face, just lighting it and standing there and watching it. For some reason, that works. I like it. And so you have a different obligation to protect your physical safety. Freak accidents, I don't know. But this is different than like, I got in a car accident. It wasn't my fault. I got T-boned and my arm broke. This is different. You have a different obligation when you're one of these guys. And here's the other part. This came up yesterday. Somebody emailed me and came at me. This was the debate. Dodgers on it. Does NIL money make you a professional, or are you still a kid? This is an ongoing, larger scale debate. I've seen a lot of people have. What people are starting to say, once these guys are getting paid this amount of money, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to do this, everything changes. You're not getting the leeway of like, oh, it's just an amateur athlete and kids are kids. Back off them when they make a mistake or lay off them if something happens. There are a lot of college football fans that are starting to say, if you're making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to do this, you're no longer some amateur little kid that's we're going to take it easy on when something dumb happens. And then I have other people say they're still 19 or 20 years old. They just have money, but they're still physically like and brain-wise like a kid whose brain's developing. I could see both sides of that argument. But I do understand some people saying once there's hundreds of thousands of dollars involved for these guys to do this, the calculation changes and the lines that a fan used to not cross that were reserved for professionals, maybe you could start wading into that territory about how you hold these guys accountable and feel fine about it. And so I get it. I understand both sides of that debate. I totally get it. And it's like, yeah, sniper. I can see both sides. 19, 20-year-old kid wants to have some fun, but man, that hurts team. And here's the other thing. I want to be clear about this. Callers, I swear I'm coming to you. I'm sorry. Very busy day. The other part of it is I'm not going to act like I know the details of this incident. While I have a history that suggests getting on any of these things increases your risk of something bad happening, just from my personal anecdotal death experience, you don't know what was going on. Maybe the guy was going to feed some cows in a barn and the thing drove sideways, something broke in the thing and it went sideways. You get what I'm saying? Like you have this image of like a guy doing wheelies and jumping off a sand dune or something. Maybe the guy was just going to feed some cows on a property somewhere and the ground gave out. I don't know. Just saying, man. But this question, once there's all this money involved, do you still get the benefit of just being an amateur kid and getting all that leeway? Or is there a different expectation, not only for your behavior off the field, but your accountability for what happens on it once all that money gets involved? And, here's the other part, too. There are a lot of people that work their ass off every day and are never going to make the money these guys make at 18 years old to play football at Notre Dame. And there's some middle-aged old men that are jealous of that are going to take any chance to nail a guy because deep down they feel like it's wrong and they're frustrated that this kid's making $300,000 to be a lineman in Notre Dame or whatever, and I'm grinding away at a 9 to 5 and I hate my wife and my boss and everybody else. There is some of that deep down. I feel that from certain people deep down, this frustration that you're not getting that money and like that. There is some of that, and people are looking to pile on when they can out of that frustration that their life didn't turn out that way, or they're not making that kind of money, right? So I don't know. I don't know. It is. It is really rough. But I want to be clear. Then we'll go to the calls. I'm all caught up. Thank you, guys. 5-minute limit. 5-minute limit. No limit, soldier. 5-minute limit. I don't know what happened. And I don't know if it matters. ATV, UTV. I don't know if that makes a difference to you or not. The idea of, was he doing something really innocent, going to feed some cows on grandma's farm and the turning, the brake snapped? Or, are we doing the whole rock on America? Driving over sand dunes, doing all sorts of flips? There's a huge difference, and we're just not going to know. There's a huge difference, and we're just not going to know. If there's not a clause in there that we're not paying you if you get hurt doing dangerous non-football things, you might want to look into getting one from now on. I'm sorry, man. If you want the honor of being able to make hundreds of thousands of dollars as a teenager playing football, you have an obligation to sit in that lawn chair, watch everybody else drive a dirt bike and do flips. You're not allowed. I'm sorry, man. You don't get to have it all. You don't get to have it all. Super frustrating, bro. Super frustrating. 386, you're going to start us off. What's going on? If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. 5-minute limit. We're going to keep it moving today. What's up?
Morning, Johnny. How are you?
I'm okay, man. Just a lot going on with Notre Dame land. Just a lot going on, man. Good stuff, bad stuff. Where do you want to start?
First of all, the recruiting trifecta was exactly what we were hoping and looking for. I think it was expected, but glad to see they're all Irish.
Why are you cutting out on me? Hey, usually your phone's perfect. You're cutting in and out a little bit today.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, say something else.
Is that better?
A little bit.
In terms of Jagasol getting hurt, not too worried about it. It happened last year. Knapp came in. This staff and this team, they're going to be able to figure it out. It's fine. We'll shuffle things around, but I feel like going into A&M last year with the O-line, much more unpredictable. Would you agree with that? Like, do you think we're going to be okay here?
Probably. It's just the other problem is I'm thinking your depth is going to be an issue, right? Because you lost those guys that were going to be backups to NIL deals to go somewhere else and start. And everybody was kind of fine with that when everybody's healthy. The issue is you can't have other guys go down now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point. And it does. I mean, the depth is undoubtedly affected by it. But as long as they can stay healthy, I think that we'll be okay. But yeah, if any other injuries happen, it's going to be tough sledding with a new QB.
Yeah.
And running backs that need a good O-line. I mean, that's
and the other thing is too, it's like, well, you could get hurt doing anything. Remember when Tyler Buckner got injured walking downstairs? Like, so it's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. Maybe the ATV is just as dangerous walking down the stairs. Maybe my whole theory's full of crap. You don't know. Like, this stuff's just kind of weird. I just know too many people, including I know some close people to me that have had problems on these machines, man. It's just dangerous.
Yep, I get you. And injuries are going to happen. All programs are going to have it. Fall camp's going to start soon. Injuries are going to come up. So we just got to do our best. It's a hand that we were dealt. We just got to get through it. But I think we're going to be in a good spot to make it happen. But yeah, recruiting wise, you couldn't ask for anything more. Like you've been saying the last couple of weeks, the floor has now been raised. You need to be a different caliber player to receive an offer from Notre Dame. And obviously the title run helped. Like huge momentum coming off that title game. Let's carry this in the fall camp. And like you always talk about, the countdown to, or what do you say? The countdown to fall camp or whatever you say, it's here. So,
yeah, everybody's buying back in, man. I think this is the ramp to camp. Everything's kind of taken off a little bit. Yeah, people are saying like, just this is me going through the stages of grief. Let me process all this. I got to tell you guys, I've been in way too good of a mood lately on all my Notre Dame content. There was a sick comfort to going back to turning all the lights on and yelling about something yesterday. I got to admit, it was a sick comfort. It was like, oh, I'm back. Yeah, this is what I remember. You know what I mean? Like, so I've been in too good of a damn mood on this show, and it just couldn't last that long. There was a sick comfort to coming back down here and yelling about something dumb in Notre Dame land. I'll tell you that. I wasn't happy about it, but it was a comfortable feeling.
Yeah, the vibes have been very high. Connor and I also, we got our tickets. We got our flights and our tickets for Purdue, so we'll be there for the tailgate.
Oh, man, can't wait to see you guys again. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good group. Yeah, so I don't know, man. There's a lot to like in Notre Dame land. There are some concerns. It's just kind of a lot before you even get near putting pads on. You got 3 key contributors already down now. You got Patello, Jags, and Kirby, and they're out. So that's frustrating, but you got to make it work with who's alive and who can run around. So I don't know, man. Anything else? Great to touch base with you on a Monday.
Always good to chat with you. 5-minute limit. So get on to the next one. We'll be listening intently.
Have a good one, buddy. How much time you got? That was 5 minutes on the dot. I got the hot touch today, baby. That was 5 minutes on the dot. His phone line's usually perfect, and it was not this time, and it's kind of bothering me. So we're going to have to see if it's me or the phone lines in general, or if it's somebody, or if it's just their phone. John was getting all the Jag text, expected more good news. I wanted it to be a sick rumor. Once that hit, it was like Saturday afternoon. Once that hit, I'm like, please be a rumor. Somebody started for attention on the 247 board. Like, please be a rumor. Please be a rumor. And then everybody I asked was like, yeah, I heard the rumor. I'm like, I'm not asking if you heard the rumor. I'm asking if it's true. I'm like, it's not. I wish I had a live reaction to John the first time he read it, but I wanted it to be lies. And then I send my text out to the people that know, and they'd go, I'm working on it too. I heard it, but nobody could confirm it. I wanted it to be a sick lie. Unfortunately, it was not. It was not. It is. How many players do you think are going over 120 miles an hour in their new ride? But let's cancel the ATV. They should both be canceled. Both of those should be not allowed. Not one or the other, both. Think about it, man. Sounds like a dangerous idea to give an 18-year-old alpha male who's feeling themselves a vehicle that could go 180 miles an hour that cost $250,000 and then say, good luck in college. That's dangerous too. That's dangerous too. You got to protect your investment, man. I'm not saying go around and bubble wrap. There's just certain things you don't do. Drive your fancy vehicle slow down the road so all the ladies can see it. You don't need to be a Georgia guy. This ain't the Grand Prix Ultra race. Go 900 miles an hour. Whatever, man. It's all dangerous. And here's the other thing. From my death experience, if you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. Here's the other thing from my death experience. When you're young and old people tell you nothing good happens after midnight, it is the truest thing in the entire world. The older I get and the more I saw in the death game, the more true it became. There is really nothing good happens after midnight. Everybody out after midnight is either doing something, coming from doing something, or going to do something that's probably dangerous. I'm sorry, man. It's just the older I get, the more that old's true. It is. I barely ever hear, oh, kid drove off a bridge and died drunk driving and it was 2 p.m. No, it's always like 3:30 in the morning. It's nothing good happens after midnight. It's true. You need to be home. You need to be home, minding your own beeswax. You know what I mean? Rodney, what's going on, buddy? Good morning.
Hey, John.
What's up? Thanks
buddy.
Thanks for the donation. A lot going on in Notre Dame land, Rodney. There's a lot to like and some things to be nervous about. What do you think?
John, I got to tell you, man, before we get into that, I have a personal story. I'm sure I've told you, but the most traumatic moment of my life and the thing that set me back before COVID happened, I was already isolated for about a year and a half, man, because of that ATV accident I had, man. Something didn't want to go, John. Didn't want to go. My friends wanted to go that day. I didn't want to go. We were in Colorado. I wanted to go craft beer tasting. Everybody else wanted to do ATVs. I'm like, fine. So I go there, and I'm going as slow as molasses on the track, man. I couldn't be any less exciting to watch. And it was me and my nephew, the one I just took to Pennsylvania. He was in the passenger seat. He's my surrogate nephew, but whatever. Probably be coming to the tailgate this year for the Purdue game. But anyway, neither here nor there. On my way back from the track, so we're done. I'm just driving the ATV back. I decide, because I was so boring, I'm looking at everybody on the left. I'm like, I start to speed up. This is on flat surface. This has nothing to do with that. And I'm like, yeah, like now I'm a badass, right? and it fell over on its left side. I looked down. My left hand is hanging from my arm. They gave me a 50-50 shot of getting my hand back. I got it, obviously. It's great. But I got that scar, man. I got that nasty scar to always remind me.
He said, I got it. It's great. As if I've known you all these years and wouldn't have known if you were drinking a beer like Captain Hook at the tailgates.
Well, with all the advancements, hey, dude, it's funny, John. Listen.
He's got a bionic arm. He's got a robot arm crushing beer cans and drinking them. And I never noticed Captain Hook was at the tailgate. It's the way you said it. I got it, and it's great.
I sent a GIF. All those things right after I got out of surgery, man, and my fingers, everything was there. And I sent the GIF of the Luke Skywalker and Empire Strikes Back with his hand, being put back on at the end. Yeah, because it sort of is, man. I mean, there's metals in there and shit. I mean, it kind of is a bionic arm, man, a bionic hand. So anyway, but yeah, man, I just want to say that is no joke, man. And I was like, I didn't want to go anyway. I'm like, I will never get on an ATV ever again.
It's just there's something about him that's dangerous. All right, Rodney, let's flip over to the more positive side. Right. I asked Notre Dame to go 3 for 3. J. Carr, I did not get the Star Wars reference. Nope, I don't. All I know is there's a Sasquatch. Of course you didn't. You didn't. Nobody's ever explained to me why there's one random Sasquatch that's part of the team. I can't understand why there's one random Sasquatch from another galaxy, and he's just in charge of doing. I'll never understand. Anyways,
it's so funny, man. 2 things: cats and Star Wars. 2 things I love that you absolutely do not.
Well, one of them could kill me. One of them could kill me, and it ain't the movie. All right. I am deathly allergic to cats, man. My throat closes up, and I can't breathe.
Hey, John, how are you? And it's like,
Rodney, I'm telling you, Rodney, if anybody hates me in my channel or whatever, all they got to do is get me in like a car, be like, John, I want to show you, and then throw a few loose cats in there and just watch John watch life leave John's carcass, man. All you need to do, lock me in a room with a few cats if you want to take me out. It won't take long. I'll be turning colors.
It's cat dander.
Yeah, it is.
Sprinkle cat dander above John's head. All right, man.
Yeah.
First of all, great. The first three in a row, that made me very happy. And, again, man, this is the thing. I think that what kind of some people are missing about 30, 40th recruit or whatever, they're putting – They needed to do, like you said, you got to start somewhere, but they went after speed and athleticism. And I'm including Joey O'Brien in that too, man. I mean, they got guys that could, there's speed there. There's athleticism there. Again, that's the things Freeman's doing. And that's how some of these teams, remember I said this a few weeks back when I was talking about the Miami Hurricane teams of like the late 80s mid 80s, late 80s, who weren't always getting the number 1, 2, or 3 class in the country. They would always finish high, but they went after the best athletes, man. And they went after, these guys with speed, and Marcus Freeman is doing that. It seems like a no-brainer, but he finds those right pieces, and also guys that really seem to be more mature than most. So he's got a great, that whole staff has a great eye for this. So
hey, I want to, Rodney, I want to mention something to piggyback on that. I don't know if anybody else saw the tweet. I think it was Pete Sampson put it out about this class being around 85, 86 blue chip rate. And then he went then he went and listed the blue chip rate for the 5 years before Freeman took over. You were in the high 40s, 50s, 60s, and you had one high year of 77. There is no way for anybody to deny this is a different cut of athlete being invited in this program now. Higher floor and a higher ceiling. That is a great sign overall. Even if you want to nitpick some specific areas or talent, there's no denying that everything's being raised, the floor and the ceiling.
Well, there's also the thing too of the moment. They seem to me, like last year's playoffs being obviously a great example of that. They understood the moment and when to turn things on. That they played their best football when they had to play it. With the one exception being Ohio State. After that Northern Illinois game, they knew the moment was now, and they seem to have that feeling, and you can feel Marcus Freeman's presence, man. He gets that. I remember there was a drill that Ty Willingham's staff used to do where they would, put players in situations where they have to react reflexively to things, and that's why that team was very opportunistic. Unfortunately, they didn't do a lot of other things right. So, this is a staff that is very, very balanced, man. They understand momentum of football. You talked about that. There isn't any sport, you're right, in any genre, subgenre, college football, momentum is a real thing.
Yeah, you can feel it. And I believe you could feel it on the field and off the field. Recruiting as momentum swings, and on the field, there's something about this specific sport that lends itself. And I can't measure it, but you feel it and you know it when you see it, that momentum, when it's for you or against you. Like, you feel it on the field when Notre Dame has the momentum. And there's other times where, if you're honest with yourself, you're going, oh shit, the other team's got momentum and the crowd's in it. You need to stop this right here. But that's why we love the sport. That's what excites me so much about it, is riding those waves, baby.
That's why I think as a fan, you feel like, even sometimes if you're not at the game, but especially if you are, even sometimes you feel like there's this collective energy that you kind of help, like that's why your team, it hurts a little more. It feels better if you win. I mean, there's a celebratory, an excitement nature to college football that doesn't exist in other sports. It's much more cerebral. It still is emotional, but college football produces an extra bit of that emotion. Anyway, John, with that, I'll leave you with that, man. I will say, can't wait for the tailgate. Can't wait for the season to start. Purdue will be fun. And what are you laughing at?
Rodney
had a great data chip ratio. Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
And I'm sorry, man. I'm not smart enough, Rodney, to be able to totally focus on 2 or 3 things at once. But once I saw that, I'm like, blue chip ratio, who needs that? What about that Dorito ratio, baby?
That's a great comeback, dude.
That is really good. Hey, Rodney, I can't wait to see you, man. It'll be great. Bring whoever you want to the tailgate. The whole group will be there. Yeah. We're excited to see you again, man. And still like to try and do something in the next month before the season, before it gets all chaotic too.
Well, as long as it's August 6th through the 14th, I'll be in the Boston and New England area for my second part of my.
Good for you, man.
Anyway, yeah.
Good for you. You're getting around, baby.
That's right. You got to do it, man. It's age 50, man. These things don't last forever, So anyway, don't ride ATV or UTVs, kids and adults. Stay away from them. Stay away.
Yep. Stay away, baby. Thanks, Rodney. Have a good one. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. I got the main man, 615-618. You're all coming up. Thanks for your patience. And I want to hear from you. Lizzo at nose tackle and Weiss at center. Who wins? Don't get me started. I don't want to get canceled. Stop. I'm just ignoring that. I'm not reacting to that. It's going to get me in trouble. Let's do something else. Not going to go there. Joe M will be okay. John just needs to freak out. Let him. I'm open to anybody telling me I'm overreacting. You know what, though? The first thing that came out, here you go. He'll be back, y'all. Chill out. When? That's the issue I have. And I hit Jay Carr, that good for her for losing that. But she's still but now it's like, look at this pinup model, because you went from 400 to 300. It's still not. It's bothering me a little bit, the over celebration of what's happened, when it still is way too much. Still. Anyways. Zampic. You know, you don't even have to work out and lose weight. V-Dub. He'll be back. Here's the problem. I lost my ever-living mind the other day when they said, oh, don't worry, John, relax. He'll be back probably after the first couple or few games. Just no big deal. Oh, you mean the biggest ones of the entire year that are going to dictate Notre Dame's playoff viability? Well, shit, I just feel great now. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Oh, after all the biggest games of the year, the guy will probably be back. Oh, okay, sweet, bro. Thanks for making me feel way better about it. Psych your mind. John says, I work with Ozempic. Whatever, man. It just cracks. Oh. It's just so funny. I hate pharmaceutical commercials. I absolutely cannot handle those. I cannot handle. It's just, if you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, you're a stand-up comic. And you're dancing in a meadow with your sweetie. And you're doing stand-up comedy and you're in a jazz band. It makes you think you can't even live an exciting life unless you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Yeah, Sky Rizzy. Oh, what is this? Why is there even commercials for pharmaceuticals to begin with? You ain't a doctor. How do you know what you need? Ask yourself that damn question right now. Ask yourself that question right now. You are not a doctor. Why are those commercials playing on the shows you're watching? You ain't a doctor. It's all a sick racket. They want you to go to your doctor and go, oh, bro, I'm 700 pounds. Give me this pen that makes me melt. They really think about it. You're not a doctor. You don't know what medication you need. So why are they playing those commercials on every show? This is a sick trick on Americans. It just is. You look at the bottom, it'll be like Sky Rizzy or whatever. What a cool name. Somebody smoked a doob and then came up with that one. Sky, oh, look at this Sky, it's Rizzy. What? You look at some of the side effects, it's like, dude, I would rather just die with what I have than deal with any of this. Blindness while driving, your arm falls off. Like you never walk again. You're going to have the squirts in perpetuity, but you're going to lose 100 pounds, damn it, and you're going to like it. You're going to like it. It's like, I just can't. What? If you say so, I don't know. Yeah, ask your doctor for the drugs from the TV. Yeah, and then they write the script, and then everybody there wins. I know a lot of people, man, that got on pain pills for legitimate back surgery reasons or whatever, and they just keep writing them, and before you know it, you have a hard time getting off of them. Like, this is real stuff. Real stuff. So tell me this. Why are those companies able to advertise, but you don't see no Marlboro Man commercials anymore? I'm just telling you, I just think it's all a racket, but I hate those commercials. All those people are living the most exciting lives, and that they all have these serious conditions, but they're starting a jazz band. The one guy retired, and then he was a stand-up comic on stage. You're dancing with some gilf on the hills in a meadow. Oh, all because you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Bothers me. It bothers me, man. My main man, Martinez. What's going on at the work side, baby? Oh, I hear it already.
Hey,
Beep,
John.
beep, beep. What up, baby?
John, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna be out. Hey, quick thing, man. I seen the post on Jagasol, man. Like I said, I met the boy, man. I got a chance to talk to him for a little bit at the airport after the Sun Bowl. Got to watch him live at the Sun Bowl, man. Hell of a player. Been following him since high school. State champion in wrestling, 4-star, man. Like, I'm a real big Jagasol fan. So really, real heartbreaker. Real heartbreaker on that. But I want to say this to everybody who's pissed off, because God doesn't like ugly, man. Because I was pissed. I was super pissed. I was like, I wanted to call in and, gosh dang it, John. I wanted to call in and yell and be like, who cares about these damn recruits? They're not the ones playing against Miami, right? I wanted to like really let go. But, my foreman gets here. He said during the holiday weekend, they were at a campsite. And they said that the people right next to them rolled a razor. Little girl falls out the razor underneath, crushes her and dies, man.
Oh,
man. I mean, that's my foreman. He said, God, we didn't even know what to do. It kind of felt bad even celebrating that we were up there because of the heartbreak. And these people were in from Nevada. And it's like, God, that could have been anybody. And let's be thankful that he just has a broken arm.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they still are just young men. That we're just stressing a broken arm rather than mourning the death of one of our studs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It's just really a tough dynamic. And I don't know, man. And the other thing is, if you think you had a bad weekend or were frustrated with anything in your life, think about all those people lost in those floods down in Texas, all those girls that were at the camp. Like, you can't do anything more innocent than send your little girl to a religious camp in the summer to learn about faith and all that. It's the most innocent, like, angelic thing you could do is send your little kid to a religious camp by a river, and then they get washed away in this flood, man. I've been thinking about that all weekend, of like just how innocent of a thing they did, and it turned out that way, and like how life isn't fair in that way. I've been thinking about that a lot. Yeah,
Johnny. So I just want to put that in perspective for everybody. Me as a girl dad, I send my daughter to sports camps, and she traveled across the country, giving, and you're a girl dad, right, John? So let's keep them in prayer. And Irish Nation, please, God don't like ugly. Keep everybody in prayer, and let's be grateful for Jack Saw just breaking his arm and not mourning, and we're not mourning his death. Second, as far as that goes, we're in the kind of the same boat. And I'll be out, Johnny. Clean sweep on the recruits. I really had a thought, man. Freeman's in this to succeed. Like, we're in for the long term. I don't see Freeman going anywhere else and having to resurrect his career, kind of like Willingham had tried to, or are those coaches that leave where they had so much success and then they go and they kind of flop, right? I don't see that happening. But on a positive note, we're kind of the same boat, right? Last year, we had our O-line to rebuild, and Rudolph and God, sorry, I get these brain farts when I try to hurry. Our OC had to rebuild the O-line going to Texas A&M, right? Even Riley Leonard didn't get to practice all summer. Let's not forget that, until basically a few weeks before the big game. Remember, and Denbrock, that's his name. Whatever Denbrock and Freeman and the rest of the offensive coaches and position coaches did to get those boys ready, it's going to be the same. In a sense, we're in a better position because CJ Carr has actually been in the system. True, he hasn't seen that type of talent come against him, but then also let's not forget that we've had the top defensive DBs in the country the last few years, which he's been going up against. So now all we have to do is make sure that our O-line holds, John. So on a coach's perspective, that's what I'm going with, Johnny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I get it. And I just think it'll be healthy to get into camp and have everybody excited and ready to go. And the guys that are able are going to go. But it is fair to be frustrated, man. Now you're down Vitello, Jags, and Kirby, and we haven't even come close to hitting, man. It is fair to not like that. It's fair to not like that as a Notre Dame guy. But there's a line. It's not like we're totally screwed, but there's nothing wrong with going, yeah, I don't like that. That ain't ideal. Not an ideal start.
No, Johnny, and it's okay for us as fans to not like that, man. But like I said, keep everybody in tragedy and prayer. And we know that Notre Dame will go in there and, Notre Dame will be victor overall. Johnny, real quick, man, when I come to the tailgate, I got a gift. I got a gift for your wife and your little girl. Your little girl's about what, 4 or 5 years old?
Yep, gonna be gonna be
Okay.
5 in gonna be 5 in a few weeks.
Okay, man, I got something for your family when I come into the tailgate, man.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Johnny, the great thing about this being after this week, we're midweek into July. We got about a month and a half, and then the tailgate kickoff tailgate, man, and on to the races we go.
Yep.
Johnny, man, chat. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
I really appreciate it, man. You're super nice. I really appreciate it. We can't wait to meet you. Get you around the group in person, man. Can't wait.
Right. Yeah, Johnny, love you guys. Love the chat. Chat, stay blessed, man. Stay safe out there. Keep those in tragedy and prayer, man. And onward, Notre Dame, buddy.
Have a good one, man. We're doing pretty good with our time today. 615-618. Let me do a couple of these chats. Chicago's very own is in the house. Pilney, $20. Holler. Freeman needs to talk to the team about being responsible with their leisure activities. Maybe some supervised fun like BK's jet ski weekend on the lake when he was reinventing himself. I'm just picturing the LSU Brian Kelly picture of him on the jet ski. Hey guys, what do you need? I'm so cool. Look at me. Oh man, he's got his golf club strapped to the back of the jet ski, dragging him through the water to get to the range. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. $20 holler from Pilney again. 3 minutes, too much work ethic to have a jet ski weekend, however. Yeah, it's, listen, it is 100% fair to say, if we're giving you all this money to play here, here's a list of stuff you cannot do. And if you're going to do it, we better not find out about it, and you better not get hurt or arrested doing it, or you're losing your money. There is nothing wrong with that. If we're giving you all this money, here's a list of activities we don't want you to do. Skydiving, bungee jumping, dirt bike riding, all of this stuff, rock climbing, any of this stuff where you could split your wig at a higher rate than other stuff. Nothing wrong with them putting a clause in there. Totally fair. Totally fair. Somebody mentioned how funny it must look for a guy who's 330 pounds to be on an ATV. A UTV is a little bigger, so maybe not. But you know what it makes me think of? Some of you old timers will know this. Do you remember the stories that Andre the Giant had farmland in Carolina? And when he wasn't traveling the world as this athlete, he used to just get away to that farmland, and he had those people taking care of it for him while he was on the road. And there's all those videos of him on the three-wheeler driving around that property. That's what's in my mind because he was so big. I always just thought it was funny looking at him, literally a giant on there. I just thought it was interesting. Oh, man. I don't know, you guys. This is going to be an exciting, swimming with sharks. I ain't doing that either. Oh, somebody said, did you see the picture of Kelly in the EA Sports game? You look at my tweet about it. I quote tweeted it, and I said, they made him look the way he made me feel. Way beyond the age I actually am and dead inside. That is the best way I could. Looks nothing like Brian Kelly at all. And he just has these dead eyes, and they just made him look way older. So that was my response. They made Kelly look the way he made me feel. Way older than my actual age, totally dead inside. No soul. No soul. Speak no evil of Andre the Giant. I didn't speak any evil of him. I just said he looked funny seeing a guy that big on a dang three-wheeler. God bless that man. Life was not easy for him. Like being that attraction he was, life was not easy. Watch the documentaries, man. Life was really, really hard for that guy. And he knew he was not long for life. Like he knew with what he had and turning down some of the medical, he knew my battery life here isn't as long as other people. And he tried to do the best he can. It was rough looking at him in them later matches where he could barely move. $20 holler. Did Leahy ever have to have a jet ski weekend? God, you know, They were racing horses, baby. Like, I don't know, back in Frank's time, maybe they're racing horses around town. Yeehaw! Don't fall off that horse. 615, make it come alive. 618, I can't wait to hear your take. What's going on?
John, we better get you to the grotto and start lighting a bunch of candles because we have bodies dropping left and right.
Are we overreacting? I'm being very honest. Like, I have on my notes, I'm open to some people thinking we're overreacting and some of this stuff's just going to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think it's real life. It happens all the time, unfortunately, you know. This weekend, I was able to hang out with Mr. Michael Orr, and guys like that, they're freaking massive, you know. And someone like you or I could fall down and be all right, but one of them guys falling, you could see how they could break anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. You know, I think it definitely hurts us if we had some of these guys transfer, but I do think we'll be all right. I rest assured when you saw them 2 freshmen start against Texas A&M that I think Marcus will have the guys ready.
Yeah, I mean, you got to count on. Now, there's not a good side to this, but if you want to look at it this way, you have a few weeks to camp for everybody to kind of figure out what they might want to do and come up with some different combinations and try this, move this guy over here, whatever they're going to do. Like, so they have some time to think about what they might want to do. It's not ideal to be down Jagasaw and Gerby and to have lost all those other guys that were going to back them up. That puts you in a bad spot, and we're not even to camp yet. I'm trying not to freak out, but you can't deny those are bad facts. It's a bad fact pattern.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good thing. You know, we just have to really pray that we have a healthy camp and can start the season without any more negative actions, because you know it can go from bad to worse, and we don't need that.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. The juxtaposition of it all is funny. When I first found out this rumor was true, I honestly kind of had a chuckle because I just thought, you know what? We're all in too good of a mood. We've been landing all these recruits, all the wide receivers, Adams, O'Brien. We're landing them all. We're in a good mood. We're on a winning streak. I'm talking about building a ramp to camp of all this positivity. And then it has an expiration date when you're a Notre Dame fan, man. It just can't go on that long. It times out. A bomb's got to go off somewhere.
Well, hopefully it will be at the end of the season with a national championship, looking at all the positivity, you know.
Yeah, and listen, man, Notre Dame's got a really good roster. They're going to be competitive. Like, everything's not all ruined. It's just not a good start.
You know, I was going to switch to recruiting here. It seems to me that maybe, you know, we all know how Brian Kelly was kind of prickly with the administration, and I think maybe to a degree he just gave up on recruiting an elite kid and just did the easy thing. But to me, it's, night and day difference. And I think, you know, like, I think you guys were talking about this last week, how Bavakwa, he wants the national championship. And I think he realizes that when Notre Dame is elite, that it raises everything in Notre Dame.
Absolutely. I've said that forever, man. If Notre Dame football is elite, it's a tide that raises all Irish ships. Applications go up for the school, donations go up, everybody wins in that scenario.
I think he gets it. I mean, in the some of the folks of the past, they were okay with a couple fencing national championships and something water polo, or but I think he really gets it. And I think he's going to be a great athletic director for years to come.
Yeah. He is modern thinking and fully supportive of Marcus, and they're getting modern fast. There's a lot to like. So I don't know, man. We got to get to camp, see who's upright, and make it work. But you got to be ready for week 1. There's no excuses. You got to figure it out.
But well, look, man, you have a good rest of the week, brother. Go Irish.
Hey, thanks for the call. Really appreciate you. Have a good one down there in SEC territory. I always like getting a call from a guy in the SEC land. 618. Tom, give me a call back when you can. I saw Chicago's very own. Give me a call back if you want or if you can. Overreacting Central. I get it, man. And I do see some of this, like injuries could happen anywhere. Like, are you going to ban walking outside, whatever? Just, there's got to be scientific evidence that certain things are just riskier than others. And ATVs are right up there. And I don't care whether you're going to tell me I grew up on a farm and I used to drive that thing blindfolded. Nothing ever happened. Or not. You can say that all you want. I just think they're dangerous. And I got a death log of people I buried that split their wig on these things. Every summer I get a couple of these. 618, what's going on? Chicago's very own after that. What's up?
What's up, John, man? It's unfortunate what happened to Jags, man, but I was looking some up, man. This is a possibility he could be back for the A&M game.
Yeah, I don't have clarity on that recovery time or what they had to do. I have no idea how to gauge that, man. It's all spent. Believe it or not, I'm not a real doctor. You know what I mean? I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, man. It all depends on how hard he going rehab and get his thing together.
Hey,
man.
How frustrated does he got to be, man? Because he lost most of last year to a freak injury in August camp. How frustrated does he have to be? Personally, forget what we think or Freeman or whatever. Man, you feel bad for that guy because it's here we go again.
Because he's our best offensive lineman, man. So, he definitely got to be frustrated. But man, we got Black coming in, man. Will Black. We should be okay, man, for the first game.
I hope so. You got to figure it all out, man. It's just I don't know. It put a little sour taste in the undefeated recruiting weekend. What did you feel about that? 3 for 3 with the receivers. You talk about recruiting a lot out of here. What do you think about that? Are you happy with this? Do you see upside, or do you think?
Yeah, man.
What do you think?
I kind of figured it out, man. That's the way it was going to go once they announced on Twitter that they were doing July 4th, 5th, and 6th. I said, man, it's no worry, man. The Irish got that under control.
Yeah, I don't know, man. At least they're getting the guys they want. You're targeting these guys. You lined them up and you landed those receivers. That's better than what we usually do at that position.
Man, I could just imagine that kid, man, Braden, that kid, man, from Red Oaks, man, that's my favorite of all the receiver recruits, man. That kid he's dynamic, man.
Yeah. It's and I don't know, man. You are a lot of like slot guys and like undersized slot guys. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do with all that. Like, I keep waiting for can I get a 6'4", 220 wide receiver to balance out some of these other guys? But maybe beggars can't be choosers, and that's just where Notre Dame's at right now with wide receiver. I don't know.
Well, right now, you got Fitzgerald, who's like 6'2", man. He got, and then you got Finley, who's like 6'1", maybe probably grow to be 6'2". you know, we have to see, man. You know, I think they're gonna be okay. The future is bright for Notre Dame right now.
It certainly is, man. I'm telling you, if you look at that blue chip ratio, 85, 86% that's a lot different than upper 40s, the 50s. You got, what do you have? 14 top 250 guys in this class. That's a big improvement.
Yeah, and I just think, like, man, that this weekend, man, you got probably the best running back duo in the recruiting class. You probably, you know, you got a great offensive line haul. You know, you got the quarterback that you want. You got the receivers that you went out and identified and got on. And now it's just time to just go win the Natty, man.
Yeah, it's you got to put it all together here. Put it all together. But man, there's a lot of really good things going on in this program. Sometimes we're in this day to day, and it's easy to not realize how much is changing around you when you just live it day to day. The talent floor is rising, the talent ceiling is rising, the recruiting operation is going about things very, very modernly and differently. There is a lot to like here. That doesn't mean there aren't certain things to worry about. But man, they are really getting modern in a lot of ways, and it's just, you got to start this year out good. And that is the trickiest part of all this. Is there's a lot of things to love, but a lot of moving parts that are yet to be proven, and a tough early schedule, man. The rubber's going to meet the road in like a month and a half. We'll find out.
Man, I'm not really worried about Miami because that defense was terrible last year, man. And you know, I don't trust Carson Beck, man, without the tight end that he had at Georgia and the receiver that he had at Georgia in 2023. I think, man, a lot of that, man, he was exposed last year. So I'm not worried about him, man. And plus, we got the better defense. Defense wins championships.
Yeah, it's man, it should have a really, really good team. How good are they going to be and how early? So I don't know, man. This is really interesting, but a very unique weekend. There was a lot to like, and then you know, you kind of had to cool off a little bit with the bad news. So I don't know, man, but it's going to be exciting. We're building a ramp to camp. Call me again soon, will you?
All right, man.
Have a good day, man. Have a good week. Thanks for calling as always. I like you guys talking about, we're going to go with, it's Chicago's very own. We're going to see what he thinks. I even thought about doing a Patreon just for fun about WWF entrances. There are so many from that era that were so good. There's nothing like it. And it's like, it makes me wonder, do I just think that because that's when I was a teenager and loved this crap? There's something about that Attitude Era with all those entrances were just perfect. Just absolutely perfect. From Stone Cold, just the glass breaking and the glass breaking and all hell breaks loose. Just the Kane and the Undertaker thing. Undertaker's theme changed a lot over the years. Some of them I like better than others. It's just all of it, man. Like, I love that whole era, and it just the Godfather. The whole DX thing. Like, I just love that whole era. Was so good. You just don't have talent like that now. You know, this Stone Cold glass thing, that's almost in its own category because the guaranteed pop it was going to get. It's just, man, that whole era was just great. It really was. Oh, Chicago's very own. Tom, are we overreacting?
Just a bit. I mean, yeah, it's a terrible kick in the teeth as fans, when you see a kid of Jagasaw's stature go down like that. You know, and it just proves boys will be boys. But look, that's a deep offensive line. They'll figure something out until he can come back. But you know what's really interesting to me is how Notre Dame is able to recruit as well as they did in the state of Texas. To get those high 4-star, low 5-star, whatever star they are, to get those types of players out of those big schools in Texas. You know, it can't be overlooked because there's a lot of money floating around that state, and from the University of Texas to Texas A&M and Texas Tech, even SMU. Now, I mean, they're throwing some dollars around. So the fact that they're able to get the 2 receivers and the 2 running backs that they got out of Texas, it's just eye-opening to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, you look at the quality. I watched film on Braden Robinson, and he's a mix between, you remember there, back in the early 90s, there was a kid named Michael Miller, also from Texas. He was a receiver and a kick returner. And this kid seems to remind me, because he's the same size as Michael Miller, but he's got closer to rocket speed. Now, don't misunderstand me. He doesn't have rocket speed, but it's close. And from what I saw on the film, he's got great football IQ. So does the other Texas receiver, Brindley. I saw him, and they've got great route running abilities, and they're playing against the top competition in Texas, which we know, you know, that 5A down in Texas is good football. So the way that these guys can get to the open field with running routes, it's very exciting. So hopefully, you know, to get 5 receivers in this class plus a couple of tight ends, I think that's pretty major.
Tom, here's a question. Here's a question for you could jump in on too. Maybe you have an opinion. G Bank asks, do you guys think Cam Williams makes a leap this fall? Have you heard much about him and his progression or whatever? Came in with that high athlete ceiling and all that, but then you didn't hear much about him. Is he? What do you have any update on that? That's the status of where he's at.
The only thing that I've heard is that, you know, he had to mature a little bit, right? And that happens to a lot of kids, but I see him stepping up. And the other kid was Micah Gilbert, right? But Micah demonstrated that he had shorthand syndrome. You know, the ball would he dropped a lot of balls that were thrown his way. Gets that cleaned up. But I think Cam Williams, from everything that I saw of him in high school and going forward, look, it was a different dynamic last year in that quarterback room and then the wide receiver room. You know, and I just keep reverting back to what Riley Leonard said at the end of the year. A lot of these guys were open most of the year, and I just didn't get the ball to them. And, you know, those 2 transfers that came in last year kind of made him sit on the bench and wait a little bit. I think he's going to break out a little bit. Yeah. I really do. So the kid's got too much talent not to. So you got Micah Gilbert, you've got Cam Williams underneath, Faison, Greathouse. I think we're looking okay. Again, having 2 quarterbacks with an arm that's not afraid to throw that football downfield, it's going to be an interesting year. Yeah, it really is. But I'm more impressed with the recruiting that Notre Dame is currently doing right now. So why didn't these kids stay home in Texas? Is it just the NIL money? Is it Notre Dame? Is it a combination of the things? There's a little secret sauce that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes as usual, but to get those types of players out of the state of Texas and to get them away from Stark and the coach down at, I can't remember his name, down at Texas A&M, I mean, that's pretty major. So, you know, we'll see.
Yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting.
Yeah, we'll see, man. It is. Tom, it does make you laugh though, because it's just, you can't have it all as a Notre Dame fan, right? When you're like, we're undefeated this weekend on the holiday, we're feeling good, 3 for 3. Like something bad you had to bring us down a notch. And the other thing, Tom, is yes, Pat, it was right after Christmas, and the tickets I got for Christmas, it was right after Christmas, and it was a dark show, not a Raw live. It wasn't a TV taping. I think we were at the exact same event. Tom, here's the thing. It always is frustrating. If you heard, oh, the guy was working out in the gym and he tore something off his bone or whatever, you're going to be like upset. It just hits harder when it's not even football at all and it's some freak thing. That just hits me way worse than like a football injury. Well, it just, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it shouldn't, but it just bothers me in a different way. It's uniquely frustrating.
It is. And we have to remember, these are young men without fully developed brains yet. They do stupid shit.
What about me? You know? What about me, Tom? I'm 40 years old in my basement with an underdeveloped brain. When does mine come in? When does mine fully kick in, buddy?
Oh no, John C. Now you don't sell yourself short. You're doing God's work, my friend.
I thought you were gonna say the Caddyshack. Don't sell yourself short. You're a tremendous slouch.
Yeah, you're a tremendous slouch. How do you measure yourself with other golfers? By height.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna judge Schmales yet. Spalding. Take it easy, Spalding. Yeah.
I never slice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, but we'll see. I think, hey, the future's bright. I'm sorry this happened to Jagasaw, but you know what? This offensive line, man, they're going to come loaded for bear to camp. These kids are, and I'm sure the message went out after he injured himself. I'm sure the coaches got right on the phone with the entire team and said, hey, there'll be no jet skiing, no water skiing, no fucking around on ATVs. If you guys want something extra to do, I'll have it ready for you at camp. And it's called running the stadium stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. So I don't know, Tom, but Tom, overall, though, Tom, there's a lot of good things going on around this program. This program has grown a lot, and it is sincerely in a different place than it was just a few years ago. Like this program's getting real serious about top-level football on the field and off the field. You can feel it, and you can see it if you're open to it, and you don't want to be a negative Nancy or be jaded. If you're honest, there's a lot changing in the right direction around this program. Frustrations aside.
Actually, what's funny, I do have a single friend that is a huge Ohio State fan, believe it or not. And he called me yesterday, and I guess he was doing a deep dive on the offensive talent that Notre Dame's been able to pull in on the class of 2026. And I said, well, I said to him, look, don't count your chickens yet, because they're not here yet, right? Well, a lot of things can happen between now and then. But I said, I find it ironic that on the 4th of July weekend, you're looking at Notre Dame stuff. I guess a couple of these guys, Ohio State, don't want it very badly. So it's nice to be able to see that now the things that we've been asking for are starting to come to fruition. Yeah. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It's
win some more games. I think they're going 12-0. I don't think they're going to lose a game in the regular season. I really don't.
Baby.
We'll see what happens.
Man.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a fun year.
Dang.
Fun. So Daddy takes the T-bird away, baby.
I like that. Oh, nice reference there. Tom, by the way, man, we got to meet up at some point. We've tried a couple times. It didn't work out, this or that. We got to do it this cycle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We will.
Fantastic.
No question about it. Just let me know.
Beautiful.
Okay, guys. God
Hey,
bless. Go Irish.
good to hear from you. Also, Tom, I'll have an update for you on our project we've been working on in a couple days. So I'll be in touch.
Perfect. Take care, guys. God
Have a
bless.
good
We'll
one.
see ya.
I love it when Tom's feeling it too. I do. Pat says, don't give me the excuse of the working on a farm part either. He's from the burbs and that dog don't on for me. I don't know. Maybe his Annie's got a damn cornfield in the middle of nowhere somewhere and he went to visit. I don't know. Brian, you're not wrong. Tom is unique. Tom has some leeway. Tom has some leeway. Oh, man. Oh boy, this is I just like the energy, man. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to Tom is definitely a classic. Tom is, you get everything with Tom. Number one is he's always genuine. I know he's not trolling. Number two is he is one of the most devout Catholics that I know. Praying the rosary before playoff games, like all Catholic-y. And then a switch flips and the F word's coming out and he's going at everybody that we hate. It's just amazing. Like, I love the dichotomy of the diehard Catholic stuff and then the switch flips and Tom's telling the Ohio State people to F off. I love it. I just think it's great. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. And then he's got the Chicago accent, the whole thing, man. It's Chicago's very own. I love that guy. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for the show. There were a lot of energy, good number, like a lot of people here. There's a lot to go over. We're in the ramp to camp, and there's a lot to like, and there's some things to worry about. We are on the ramp to camp, and I think we're just going to keep building from here. Yeah, I know. I think, yeah. I know. I thought of that too, man. Tom would be the perfect guy that would have mob connections back in the day on the Cicero crew or something. Like I see him out in Melrose Park in an alley somewhere. Tom would be the kind of guy that could get along with everybody and do these little tasks. I'm not saying he's hooked up. I'm just saying. That's Tom. Tim, yeah, Tim should definitely do a political segment if we want to get the show shut down. That's what we'll do. You guys are great. This was a really energetic, fun show. Felt like we were going 5 minutes. It's been an hour and 42. I love you guys. I'll have more articles coming out. I'm going to have Monday Night Raw tonight. And I want to see what Goolsby thinks about all this now that we've had a day to kind of soak it all in. We're going to get back with him and we're going to see what he thinks. The date for camp, it's not even August. It's one of the last days of July. That's the other thing I've noticed. It isn't even like you got to wait till August. Literally the first day of camp is the end of July. One of those days at the end of July. But it stood out to me that it wasn't even an August date. It was July. So thank you guys. I will, I'll see you tonight on Raw. Really good show, good energy. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the donos.